have you ever seen someone do something so stupid that you just needed to talk about it? Well, that's today's video, because I need to talk about this woman that lost $800,000 for throwing a tree. And then I'm going to follow that up with my own personal story about how I lost over $50,000. But first, we need to talk about this woman, because when I saw this headline, I was like, what? So the story takes place in Ireland and involves a woman named Kamila Grabska, who was involved in a car accident, and she says this accident gave her debilitating neck and back injuries. She also claimed that due to the accident, she would be losing out on over $500,000 because she had to quit her job. She was also saying she was having trouble taking care of her children while doing household activities. With these terrible injuries and not being able to support a family, she decides to sue the insurance company. Now, this is kind of unclear here. I can't find the evidence of this, but she claims over the $500,000 that she's lost out on is from not being able to work for the last 5 years. So I'm assuming she just recently sued the insurance company. I'm not too sure. I feel like it would be a long lawsuit if she sued back in 2017 when the accident happened and they're still going. I mean, unless she's already loaded, which it's possible because it seemed like she was making over $100,000 a year at her old job. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is a relatively new lawsuit. I just don't have that information because I can't find it in any of the articles. But this is the interesting thing. So I don't know if you guys have ever had to deal with insurance companies before. At least I can speak from American standpoints. They're assholes. And if they can find any way to make sure you lose and they don't have to pay you, they will. And that, it must be the same thing in Ireland, because holy crap, what ended up happening here was wild, and this is why I think it's so stupid of this woman. So back in 2008, Miss Grabska thought it was a smart idea to compete in a Christmas tree throwing contest. According to the article, this competition involves people throwing roughly 5-foot spruce trees as far as they're able to. And you want to know the crazy thing? She fucking won! They have a photo of her winning the damn Christmas tree competition. I mean, just look at her form. It's fantastic. She is launching that bitch. It is going back to Santa Claus. Like, she has no worries in the world. She is like, I'm about to get $800,000 and I'm gonna win this fucking competition. Well, you might see where this is going already, because since she won, these photos resurfaced during this court case, and the insurance company was like, well, ma'am, you said that you have debilitating pain that you can't work and even take care of your little babies. So why don't you explain how you won a fucking tree competition? And with that photo, that is all the evidence the judge needed, because they said this: it's a very large and natural Christmas tree, and it is being thrown by her in a very agile movement. I'm afraid I cannot but conclude that the claims were entirely exaggerated. On that basis, I propose to dismiss the claim. That judge was like, no ma'am, you will not be winning tree competitions and getting $800,000. Enjoy your trophy, but now, well, you're probably not poor. You were making $100,000 a year. Now, to Ms. Grabska's credit, she was saying that she was just trying to live a normal life.
This is a load of barnacles.
But yeah, this story has just been stuck in my brain since I saw this headline of a mother loses $800,000 disability case after this photo emerges. Like, can you believe that? Like, there's a lot of reasons to get out. Like, I talked about this in my AI video, but I think in the future, we're gonna have people that are getting broken up with or getting screwed over by fake AI photos, because back in the day, the photos didn't lie. Well, they're gonna start being able to lie pretty soon, but I love that at least right now, we're still having moments like this, where people are trying to freaking have these massive scams, because $800,000 is so much money, and they just get fucking destroyed from their stupidity. This is actually something that happens quite often. I've read so many stories about people that are like, you know, scamming the military or just scamming disability in general and being like, oh yeah, I can't work, or I can't do all this stuff, I can't leave my house. And then every Sunday they're like out on their boat, their fancy ass boat that they bought with their disability money and stuff. Like, it's so wild. I love every time these people get outed, because they are scamming people that genuinely need it. Now, granted, this was an insurance company, and I feel like insurance companies are always screwing people over, so, like, I'm not gonna sit here and being like, yeah, one for the insurance guys! But, you know, in other cases where it's like government taxpayer-funded money and people are scamming, I love hearing those stories of people getting screwed over. But this was just funny. I can't believe it, man. Of all, throwing a Christmas tree? It's the best. It's the best thing. But now, let me tell you about a time that I lost out on a bunch of money for doing something stupid. Before we move on to my story, I'm gonna need you to hit that subscribe button because we're getting so close to 500. Help your boy Juice out. Also, maybe hit that like button. But now, on to the story. Many of you probably jumped on this train or were on this train at one point but got off. But I was a big person when it came to Dogecoin. I used to talk to people at my old job. We would talk about stocks and stuff, and I used to be that person that was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna buy like one Apple stock here and there, or I'm gonna buy this stock over here. I would try a bunch of different stocks here and there, but, you know, one day in conversation with a friend of mine, they were talking about Dogecoin. And they were like, yeah, it's a meme coin. It's super cheap right now. I mean, you could just throw $10 in there, and if it ever pops off one day, you might make a lot of money. And I was just thinking, I was like, oh man, I want to make a lot of money someday. That does sound kind of funny that it's a meme coin. And you know what? What's $10? That's one Chick-fil-A at the time, all right? Chick-fil-A's gotten really expensive. But at the time, I was like, that's one fast food meal. Sure, let me throw like $10 on it, all right? And, you know, I did that for a little bit. And then every once in a while I'll be like, let me throw another dollar on there. This was when it was super cheap. I'm talking about it wasn't even a penny yet. It probably wasn't even half of a penny. And well, one day it just started going up. You know, that meme coin just started going up. And so I bought a little bit more. And it just started going up some more. And I was like, I bought a little bit more. And, essentially, I had a decent amount of Dogecoin. And then one day, one crazy day, that shit goes pew, and it just jumps so high. And I was just looking at my account, and I'm looking at my account, and I'm like, oh crap. My portfolio at the time when Doge hit its highest amount was over $50,000. And I think it was like maybe, I don't know what the highest was, like 70 something cents or something like that. I had over $50,000 in that account. And I was just like, NANI? My investment into that crypto coin was probably like maybe max $100, maybe even a little bit more, because I got in so early. But it wasn't like thousands of dollars. No, like the profit was insane. And I was all like, it's gonna hit $1. I'll leave it there. I want to see how much it makes when it hits $1. And it dropped, you know, it hit that point and then dropped. And I was like, it always drops. It's gonna go back up. And then it dropped again. I was like, don't even worry about it. It's gonna go back up. It just does this. Just give it a day or two. And it dropped all the way back down to like a penny or two. I think maybe it went down to like less than 5 cents at one point. So, yeah, my dumbass was holding out for $1, and I saw $50,000 go away like that. I do have friends that ask me every so often if I regret not selling, and there are times in my life when I'm like, yep, I could really use $50,000 right now. Or I could have just reinvested it. I think that's what really bugs me about it, is I could have just sold it and then reinvested it in other things that are doing pretty well now that I was already investing in. And, yeah, that is my tree moment, if you will, seeing just $50,000 disappear from my account. When that's what I built it up for, right? That was the goal. It was like, oh, what if it pops off one day and my dumb, it'll go higher. So if you ever needed an example on how greed will screw you over, there it is. Anyways, I just needed to get this story out of my brain and onto the internet. If you guys haven't seen my last video, I highly suggest you go check it out. But as always, don't forget your daily dose of juice.